my review of K-pop Demon Hunters. So first I'm going to go over why I watched the movie in the first place, then my thoughts on the movie, first impressions, and then like why I actually really liked it, and then some things of after the movie, after I watched the movie and watched some related media, some thoughts around that thing. Okay, why did I watch the movie? This behind me is my Spotify, and as you can tell, I already had a couple of songs that I liked from EJAE, and I also had a couple of songs that I liked from Audrey Nuna, and these ones. And yeah, I think for that reason, this song Golden showed up. Probably on this playlist, this is Release Radar de Novedades, and yeah, right now it's not in, but I think a couple of weeks ago, or like 1 month, but like not just release time of the movie. I think I didn't notice at release time. It was a little bit later when I noticed this song on my release radar, and I played it, and I didn't add it to any of my playlist or didn't save it, but I think I put it on queue a couple of times because I liked how it sounded, and I was curious to see like who these two artists that I follow, why were they together. And yeah, then I think after queuing this song a couple of times and like saying, oh, this is an indie song, but like not really thinking too much of it, I think I started seeing it on Reels or TikTok or whatever, but not super deeply, right? Like maybe a couple of times, so it started like sticking in my head. And I started like hearing it around, you know? And some days ago, I also saw a tweet that was like, K-pop Demon Hunters, like why is it so popular? And the tweet was like from an account. I can't find the tweet right now, so that makes me sad. But it was from an account that it's kind of close to me or whatever, like a mutual or like a mutual of a mutual. And they were talking about like the answers, the replies were up from other parents, and they were like, oh yeah, my 4-year-old kid really likes this movie and the songs are actually really good or whatever, right? So I was like, interesting, right? This kind of impression was sticking in my mind. So I was like, fuck it, let's give a chance to this movie. Let's see what it's about, right? I mean, I don't have anything against animation or whatever, but yeah, it is kind of a kid's movie, right? So I don't know, I wasn't like in principle going to watch it or whatever. I watched Disney movies or whatever just because, but yeah, I don't know, this I don't know, K-pop Demon Hunters, like the title does sound a little bit like Slop, you could say, right? It sounds like a mashup of popular things to put together just because, right? So I don't know, it wasn't like catching my attention, but since I saw this praise and since I saw that these artists that I follow were like joining forces, you could say, in it, I was like, fuck it, let's see what it's about. Okay, now onto my thoughts on the movie. Here in the background is like my first impression of like why this movie was a little bit weird for me on first impression. Let's say I thought it was a little bit absurd, right? Because the first things that get thrown to you in the movie are like these fucking 3 girls are like a Korean trio of girls is since history in Korea for some reason. They are elected to save the Korea from the demons, right? Korea and the whole world from demons, and they raise some kind of shield using their voices, and this is the shield behind me. It's called the Honmun, and the Honmun apparently it's some kind of like shield that is made to protect the people against the demons, right? And they have to go around killing demons and like elevating the force of this shield. So yeah, you just get thrown this information minute 1 for some reason, and yeah, so it's like a bit strange that this is the world building that they do, and they really don't elaborate. There is this evil force called Guima. He's basically Satan, and it's like, okay, there is this Satan guy called Guima who is like evil, and yeah, he consumes souls and he throws demons into the realm of the humans. And these 3 girls who have been like past this kind of the responsibility to be these warriors against demons and to protect the world, they are these 3 K-pop stars because it's apparently related to voice and to singing, right? So yeah, they used to be like in the past they were like these traditional Korean singers, and now then they were like in the 1920s some kind of Korean you could say EJAE type singers, and then it's like right now these K-pop stars. So yeah, I found that a little bit absurd, but it and like a little bit strange to digest. Plus, also at one of these first scenes, they are shown in like this private jet eating food, right? So they kind of do this mukbang, and the mukbang it's like with this animation or like cutesy animation, right? So it's like it's like off to a strange start, right? This cutesy animation contrasted with this like serious animation thrown in against all this world building, but then a song starts playing and the song is actually like pretty catchy and kind of like sets the scene relatively well, right? It for a song, it kind of like shows their story and what they're trying to do and like what the current situation is, right? They've given you the past, but now you get put into the present with this song, and the song is good, right? So I start to like the movie. And yeah, as I said, the arcs of the characters are like more or less starting to be well laid out, and they continue to get like more explained through the movie, and the way they progress is like it's good, I would say, right? They are well developed. For example, these three are the main characters, you could say. The one in the middle is the main arc, and she's called Rumi, and like she has like some demon marks. Oh, okay, spoiler alerts. She has like some demon marks here that she doesn't want to show, right? And she's, you could say, like the main character of the movie. Then the other two, Mira, the one with the red hair, she's like being pulled from two cultures. She's like Korean but American also, and she's also like rebellious as well, and she doesn't fit in, etc., right? And then the other one is called Joey, and she struggles with like being weird and creative, etc., and struggles to being accepted because of that, right? So they all have like their internal struggles, etc. The arc that's like the most developed is Rumi's arc, and yeah, there is also like this enemy called Jinu, who is like also who is a demon and who is like ashamed for like what he's done in a past life, and he's tormented and such. And there is also like this extra arc called from like this Rumi character. She has like this adoptive mom called Celine, who used to be also one of these guardians, and she has this like complicated relationship. She loves her daughter, etc., but she wants her to hide like her struggles, like her demon sides or her demon marks, etc. So that has like its own consequences, etc. And yeah, I really like the evolution of these characters, I would say, right? Especially like the main arcs, so Rumi and Jinu, they are really decently developed, right? For this short movie, they go through things, they collaborate in things, they betray one another, they start like being vulnerable at different scales, etc., right? And it's an interesting arc to see. It's relatable, right? All of these things are relatable. Having things that you don't want to show, etc., and being told by people that you shouldn't show them, being pulled by different cultures, etc. For me, that's also like relatable. Or struggling with weird, or like being ashamed for what you've done in the past, etc., right? And being tormented a little bit by it, and wanting that torment to end. These things are like all relatable, and I would say like they are decently explained, and they are like explained in a heartfelt way, right? They are delivered in a heartfelt way, I would say. So I liked that about the movie, and it resonated, you could say, right? Then the soundtrack is also really good, right? It's good for two reasons, I would say. It's good because it's catchy, right? The songs and the music itself is catchy, and the melodies are good. For example, Golden, it has a really good melody in the sense that, I don't know, it's a little bit different. It's poppy, but it has like a wide range of notes. It starts from really low and it goes really up, and the singer has like the power to deliver it right and to make it hit. The structures are rhythmically interesting. For example, EJAE, who is the girl who plays the singing voice of Rumi here, she mentions how this song was composed in this very pop way, where the rhythm structures are like very defined and like very kind of set to be a little bit surprising, right? Set to hit in the second beat, for example, to starting verses or whatever in the second beat, to give that sense of like variability within the song, right? To have these very different structures through the song that make the song varied and make the song interesting. And yeah, I think all of these songs are like done in this way. And I would say that additionally from that, the songwriting fits the storytelling. And for example, songs like Golden, this title track or like most hit track, is like this bittersweet song about kind of trying to aim for more, etc. But juxtaposing this kind of like telling the song, saying, okay, you should share, you should show yourself fully, but then the character not doing that. It has like this bittersweet connotation, right? And then songs like Your Idol or Soda Pop, they have like this pop beat, this kind of catchy tone, but then the writing is like very, I want to eat your soul, or things like this, right? Or like, you will be my soda pop, or some things like that, right? For example, EJAE says that they are kind of experienced, they are inspired by her experience witnessing this kind of K-pop industry up close, etc. So yeah, it's like they are you could say, I don't know, simple songs, or they are poppy songs, right? They are pop songs, but they fit the vibe. And yeah, also what I wanted to say is as well that they are songs that make the movie better, right? They give the movie like this pacing and this rhythm, etc. And the songs by themselves are also made better, but by being in the movie, right? They are like expanded. The meaning of them is like a little bit more put into context and expanded because of that, right? You can point the lyrics to the movie and to the characters, right, and to see how it hits them at whichever spot, right, and evoke those emotions. So I would say they make a good combination, and that's also another factor why I liked this movie. Then after the movie, I watched some interviews because I was curious about who this EJAE is, right? I knew Audrey and I knew Ray, but EJAE, who is like the main vocalist and such, and who is apparently also the songwriter, I was like, okay, let's see who this is and like what's her story, right? And I started seeing that actually her story is like pretty interesting, right? She tells it in this video. I recommend watching it if you haven't already. This video by Vanity Fair, this Wired interview is also decent, and this mainly focus on her, on like EJAE, and like how this Golden song was songwritten, but also how her experience, etc., influenced this songwriting and the songwriting process. And it's actually really interesting. For example, she talks about her experience as a trainee, right? She used to be a K-pop trainee for like 10 years, but she never got her debut. So she switched to songwriting, and then she kind of made it as a songwriter. She had like a couple of hits, right? But that kind of bittersweetness of like ambition, not making it, kind of like getting through a different path, seeing the good on that path, but also like having that kind of, not regret, but like that kind of chip on your shoulder, right? And yeah, she's great on interviews. She comes like very across as like very honest, etc., right? And I liked her story as well, right? This sense of like trying to achieve something, not really getting it, and then getting the opportunity to actually develop something like that, and kind of like actually making it a little bit in that way, right? It's like, but the success coming like 10 years after after you wanted it, for example, right? Is, I don't know, it's also like something that inspires, but yeah, but that is a bit tough, also tough to see, right? She gets emotional in these interviews talking about it, and yeah, I would say that they are good interviews, right? And it makes also the movie hit different, right? It's like, okay, this movie was really heartfelt, right? It was both a chance to, because she's like similar to that character, right? This character, Rumi, also, she also was like struggling with like trying to make it big, or like trying to like hit this next step, trying to achieve this goal, and then not being able to achieve that goal, and thus things falling apart, right? So it's like she was handed this script and this character and this task to actually create a song for it, and she did it really well, right? Partly also because she was like struggling with it. And yeah, I thought they were interesting interviews to watch afterwards, right? It's like, whoa, this movie, it's like it's a kid's movie, right? But I don't know, it actually like it has its kind of depth, and it has all these elements to it that I feel like were what propulsed it. I don't know. It's always an element of luck, right? And also an element of like fucking Netflix telling you, okay, make this movie, right? Is a good, it's like a good impulse, right? But from then on, making a product that is like, that hits in that way, that propulses it to like number one, right? That is like also something that is worth looking into, in my opinion. and I can kind of see why, right? One part of everything is always luck, but the part that is not luck is in my opinion also worth checking out. And I have to say that I was kind of impressed by this story and like emotion. It made me also. I don't want to say it made me emotional. Like the movie did make him emotional. I mean that it was like emotive to see something like her story and the way she actually pulled it off, right? Then I also watched this interview. Well, it's kind of like an interview while eating food with EJAE, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami, and who are the vocalists from this song, right? They are like the voice actresses, but for the singing parts. And it was actually like really funny to see a video like this, right? It's 20 minutes, and you can kind of see that they do represent a little bit. It's like you can say that in acting, you don't necessarily have to like be if you play Hitler in like a Hitler movie, you don't have to be Hitler, right? But if it's kind of a musical, or if it has this musical component and they are like the song actresses from this, it kind of like actually fits, right? That they are like the characters in the movie, right? Their personality and the way they come across is also a little bit like the characters in the movie, right? She, for example, the one that plays Mira, who is like this kind of like more, it's like not necessarily diva, but like more serious character, like more, like looks can kill, right? She looks at you like this, angry a little bit, and you kind of like, whoa. This Audrey, she plays this Mira in the music, and she has like that vibe, right? That aura of like, she can like drop bars and be like this, right? Or for example, Ray Ami, she has like these two sides of like hitting hard on the one hand, but then also like having this kind of sweet talking voice and like being very bubbly personality, right? And she plays Zoe, who is kind of like the same, right? She has bars, but she also has like this bubbly personality. And then EJ has like this whole story of like this very powerful voice and like this story of like overcoming something and this like shame and thing, right? So it's like you can see by how they interact with each other and how they come across as the in the interview that they are kind of similar, right? And the comments are also like, oh, these are literally Hunter X, but in real life, right? And it's like interesting to see. It's like another factor that I thought was interesting after seeing like this media afterwards. And I guess to finish the video and to give like some last conclusions of like what I thought after the movie, right? After watching all this media behind, not just this kind of interviews with EJ, with these other vocalists, but also a little bit some other songwriters who talk about the team, right? And seeing like the praise that they have for the director of the movie as well, it does come across that even if it's gotten criticism, like it's corporate slop, right? And I understand the criticism as well, right? I thought the same when I saw the title, K-pop Demon Hunters. Like, what the fuck is this like keyword AI slop type, or it's like keyword SEO optimized thing, right? Algorithmic. It sounds algorithmic, right? A movie called K-pop Demon Hunters, but then it turns out that it's like this kind of labor of love by Korean people, right? Korean Americans who are kind of like wanted to write a love song for their culture, right? Who wanted to tell a story with their characters, with their voices, and who wanted to bring this message of like things that they themselves have gone through and like share it with their own particular focus, right? Focusing on their own culture or whatever. And you can tell that it's a labor of love, right? There is a lot of love in it. There is a lot of hard work and hard love and care put into it. So even though there may be this like corporation, Netflix backing, etc., I think that my impression after watching it and after seeing all these things behind the scenes is that it's actually like a decent movie. It has been made with love, and I think it comes across when you watch it, and the fact that it propels me to watch to dig a little deeper in behind the scenes. It shows a little bit that it's not just some marketing tactic or whatever, right? And that's I guess my conclusion. Thank you for watching this video. I will leave here I will link below all of these interviews that I've shown here, and I will leave a link here of a movie of some of movie reviews. I think probably In the Mood of Love. It's a movie that I watched. Maybe it's I won't say like it's fully related to this, but I gotta say it is in a way related to this kind of like Asian Asian influence in like American culture, right? For example, In the Mood of Love is this movie from this Wong Kar-wai director that has actually influenced a lot of people who are like from Asian descent and in general who penetrated the Western sphere. So I would say that it's related. In the Mood of Love, you can check it out here. And yeah, bye bye.